시작.
It's locked.
I
But
thought,
we are.
what's that thing by the handle?
아 맞아, 요것도 있었어 퍼즐이.
Nothing.
The tiles.
Those moon symbols.
Maybe they're connected. But
Nope.
maybe the information we need
So
is
where is it?
somewhere else. Let's come back once
그래,
we...
뭐 우선 불가능한 것 같고 잘 기억이 안 나. 내가 잠결해가지고 아까 내가 얘한테 물어봤었나? 다 물어봤었네. 아니지. 그치?
Freya drew these.
Yeah, I think so. There's a note on the
But-
back.
She never
Well, I think it was a gift. A private thing between Frey.
A wooden carving of my father, made by my father. Although, now I do not understand how he was able to paint a book. My book.
And what's in it?
Pages. This belongs to Professor Pointer, does it not?
No, I don't
Who
think so.
else would own such a pointless little telescope?
It's a telescope.
Oh, yes. It has a telescopic lens. It could. This belongs to Professor Point.
No?
Who else would own such a pointless little
It's a telescope.
Oh, yes. It has. It can only be used. That blade.
It's a troll for gardening.
It is. The fruit here has. It makes them completely point unless you wish to cut it down and sell
It's
it.
not edible.
Depends
On what?
on the structural integrity of your teeth.
아우. 자, 우선 아저씨한테 가볼까? 의심스러운 아저씨. 얘한테 다 물어봤었구나. 얘한테 다 물어봤었고. 그럼 슬슬 새로운 곳으로 이동할까? 자, 포인터 가문으로 갑시다.
Are they paper lanterns?
Whatever they are, I like them. It's like a little parade of floating spirits.
Oh, whatever it is, it's...
Well, it is the music. Gotta practice.
What's with all the broken glass?
뿔피리 동상 음악실. 큰 뿔피리를 들고 있는 빛나는 괴상한 생물 쇠동상. 동상의 뿔피리 쪽에 눈에 띄는 금이가 있다. 뿔피리의 안과 밑바닥에는 금이 간 유리 조각이 널려 있다.
Alright.
Spooky murder
Spooky murder mansion. There's a faded...
When I was a kid, I never knew the difference between a mural and a mosaic.
You still don't know, do you?
No,
Who plays the violin, I wonder?
it's pretty dusty. So I'm guessing nobody.
Sheet music.
That's a lot of notes.
Probably while they're on the floor. Sheet music.
That's a lot.
Probably while they're on the floor.
It's a globe.
For globing. That's just daylight, right?
What else would it be? Smells like a forest in here.
It's one of those big pianos with the open lids.
Don't touch it.
Why not?
Might be haunted.
깜짝이야.
Are you a ghost?
Sally! That's rude! Unless she is a ghost.
It may come as a disappointment, but I am alive.
Ah,
That makes you a suspect, I'm afraid.
I know.
what's your name?
My name is Poppy. I'm a pointer. And a pianist.
We'll need to ask you a few questions about Freya.
I know.
Hey, you're pretty good.
All in the wrist. And 13 years of dedicated practice. I'm just me. There's nothing to know.
How are you related to the other pointers?
My father is Percival Pointer. The professor spends most of his time hidden away in his tower. Barely speaks to anyone these days. Especially not the fellows.
Do you get on with the fellows?
2 of them. Fifi and Freya are my closest friends. We all turned 19 last year.
Do people ever leave Tangle Tower? I don't mean to be rude. It's just, if you're 19...
You don't have to answer that, Poppy.
It's a fair question. I'd like to move away. Definitely. Fifi, Freya, and I would often talk about it. argue about it. Freya wanted to leave, but Fifi, things are more complicated for her.
What about now?
After what happened, I really don't want to stay here much longer. 3.5 hours of piano practice. Soon as I wake up. Same as always.
3.5. Does that not hurt your hands?
Sure.
And you do this in the music room?
No, I prefer to practice in my room. When I make mistakes, I like to make them in private.
What did you do after that?
I was supposed to meet Fifi in the library, but I totally forgot. When I finally got down there, she'd already gone. I checked her bedroom, but it was locked.
Was Fifi not in there?
No idea. She keeps her door locked either way, so I went back upstairs and out into the moonlight garden.
The what?
The little garden on the roof outside my room.
Was it just you up there?
No. Fitz came outside after a while. His room's on the other side. He's been teaching me about flowers.
So, did you talk to him?
Not really.
You ignored each other.
I didn't say that. Fitz and I were up in the moonlight garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds. I've been trying to decide how to describe it, but I'm struggling. It was like something drilling into a piece of metal, but different. Worse. I was pretty sure it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there to check. Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. I knew Freya and Flora were both supposed to be in there, so I made Fitz kick down the door. I went inside. Freya was lying on the floor.
Flora was in the room too?
범인일지
Yeah.
모르겠다.
I think she realized what had happened at the same moment I did. I didn't know what to do, so I ran downstairs to get Fifi. Her door was still locked, but I knocked and shouted at her. Eventually, she let me in. The lights were off, but I could see she'd already been crying. I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry. First time I've ever seen her angry. I dragged her out into the hall. My father was there too, for some reason. The three of us went back up to Flora's tower. Then Felix arrived. He had Penny with him. Fifi had this idea. She wanted to do some kind of scientific test. She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes. After she was done, she went back upstairs and I went back to my room.
That's it?
That's it.
진실을 딱히
All right.
I wonder what's in there.
없는 것 같아. 내 진실 한 번만 더 들어보자.
I was in my room. Someone began banging on the door. I opened the door. She told me I thought she was playing a trick on me. She insisted that we go up to Flora's tower. We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. When I saw Freya, then Poppy and I took the sample. We performed a test.
You performed even though
Of
you...
course. Why would... What can you tell me?
What that's what...
Yes, you were.
You
too-
fancy
I just
Me too.
Fine. I knew. So I had planned to spend was in the library to find out that Poppy had made other plans and she wasn't.
Oh.
So, what did
I
you do?
locked myself.
그런 거 없어. 누가 범인이다가 될 것 같은 건 저 아저씨밖에 없는데 너무 뻔하잖아.
Needless noise from tongues expel, unless within the spoken word, unfit. Stand Foregone drifter, holding fast. Days as shadows. Is it bravery or something darker? Between the lips, a silver spoon. A story. The chosen dwelling lost her. With surging tide. On its surface, the orchestrator, pale. That's me. I'm on a list of murder suspects. Always thought that would be good. It's just tedious.
Falls a little short.
Softly does the rest a seed within hour by hour. Hard of head, but free of mind. Unimprisoned, starry eyes, she sees a soul untied.
So there are two families...
3 pointers and 5 fellows. 4 fellows.
What's the connection between them?
There isn't one. It was all built by the Remington. Flora is a Remington, originally. So was Primrose, my mother. She married into the Pointers, and Flora married into the Fellows.
So the fellows and the Pointers own the house now?
Flora owns the house, depending on who you ask. That means her husband Felix owns it too.
What about your father?
His claim over the house kind of fell apart after my mother left.
Where's your mother now?
No idea. There's something I noticed.
Hit me.
From what we could tell, there's only one small pool of blood. Nothing on Freya's hands, or anywhere else. The whole thing is just peaceful.
아닐 것 같은데.
What do you make of this
I know
stuff?
that's the only harp in the hold. I've never actually
Maybe it's from before your
Oh,
time.
definitely. You see how old this statue
What about the symbols?
Yeah, weird. This is mine.
Really?
No, well, yes, it was. I gave it to Freya about a year ago.
What was on it?
Nothing. It was blank. Freya said she wanted to record something.
Any idea how it ended up underwater?
Maybe someone wanted to destroy it, but got really lazy. Don't you think that's weird? That the letter isn't addressed to anyone?
Someone's being...
Or they're trying to manipulate you? When I first saw it, I thought it looked like Flora was holding a
You don't
knife.
think that anymore?
No. It was the room was dark. I was in shock.
But it was blood. If you hadn't said anything, maybe Fifi wouldn't have checked.
Exactly. It's stupid.
But we would have missed out on an
Is
important...
it a clue? Tell me how it's a clue. Tell me how it... Nothing about the knife makes any sense. It's just freaking everyone out.
실제 피했다는 걸 알아낸 점에서 꽤나 중요했던 안목이라고 생각하다만.
What was inside?
Nothing.
Huh. It was my mother's original.
So,
She just gets the most. Freya would borrow it.
does this belong to you?
Now that's not really my style.
But who else would own a tape like this?
Literally anybody.
다른 사람들은 다 뽀삐 거라고 하는데 뽀삐는 본인 것이 아니라고.
Why is the glass cracked down one side?
Natural wear?
No way. Freya would always load up the palette. I think it helped her zone out and focus on the act. Getting all your sheet music lined up before playing a long piece.
Right. So the blob of black...
Flora's dress, yeah. She wears even more black than I do. Is that supposed to be Flora?
Possible.
Oh. How nice.
This is a photo of Fifi.
Yeah,
How come you're not in it?
I'm not really one for photographs.
Fifi looks like she really admires Freya.
Fifi's loyalty to Freya is unshakable. I think
단순히
everybody
친구
sees something
관계가 아닐
different.
수도 있나?
Did Freya ever tell you what she saw in it?
Not exactly. She said something about it being from a recurring nightmare.
Sorry, but if it was from a nightmare...
Maybe she wanted to take control of it, giving something a physical form. Sometimes. That belongs to Flora, I think. How sweet. Whose paints are...
They belong to Felix.
Is that Fifi's diary?
That's where we found
Have you ever read it?
Nope. I'm
it.
sure...
I thought you and Fifi were...
Yeah, we are. Fifi's gotten kinda impatient.
Do you know why?
I'm not sure.
I'm sure she'd tell.
Oh, she would. She'd give it to me. Probably why I've been avoiding it. Did you find that in Fifi's room?
No? Should we have?
No, it's just...
No, should
Looks
we
like
have?
something she'd use, don't you think?
다들 그런 얘기를 하네.
Oh, you've been to the greenhouse? What did you think?
Impressive, I guess.
Impressive, I
But
guess.
kind of unsettling with Fitz lurking in the shadows the whole time.
Yeah.
Looking at the shadows
he does
all
that.
the time.
Is that a gardening trowel?
Yeah, I think it belongs to Fitz.
Really? Huh. Never seen him use it.
뿔피리
Look at
동상.
me. I didn't break it.
Does anybody else use the music room?
Yes. I don't know who, but I can tell when somebody else has touched the piano.
뭔가가 음악실에 또 침범이 아니라
There's something about that dial. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
그러니까 수상이라기보단
Name, Poppy Pointer. Age, 19. Profession, oh. Apparently, Poppy has defaced my notes. Under profession, I had, of course, originally written pianist, but she has crossed that out and written the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
아
Is this your diary, Fifi? We found it in your bedroom.
Of course it is mine. Ridiculous question.
Why is it locked up like that?
You seriously require an explanation. Very well. A fairly common concept, the so-called secret diary, is favored in particular by girls between the ages of 10
So, there are secrets written in here?
and this particular diary is unused.
It doesn't look unused.
모르겠어. 일기장이 아니다. 일기장이고 일기를 썼다. 이건
It's not a diary.
I'm not sure about
Me
that.
neither.
This particular
It doesn't look unused.
다른 누군가
It's somebody else's
거가
diary.
제일
How could you
가능성이
arrive at that
있지.
conclusion? It is kept in my bedroom. It is mine.
We need a clue to compare with the diary.
자, 진짜 주인은 누굴까요? 사실 이 피해자일 확률이 상당히 높지만, 네, 잘 모르겠어. 아, 이거구나.
Let's take a closer look at this.
찾았다. 이 파란색과 똑같은 것은 비밀일기장, 프레이야의 소유라는 것을 증명한다.
This blue book is the same thing as the secret diary, which proves it belonged to Freya.
You were hiding Freya's diary in your room, and you kept it locked, too.
Why would I do either of these things?
목 진짜 기네.
Fifi didn't want anyone to see personal secrets kept in her bedroom. Almost. Maybe just change.
그림은 뭐지? 난 아는 것 같지.
Fifi, nope.
그러니까 그게 개인적 비밀 아닐까?
Fifi, that's not right.
그러니까 아니, 맞지 않나 이러면?
Fifi, that's not right either. Fifi, that's not right either. Fifi, that's not right either. Fifi, almost.
아니
Maybe just. Fifi, that's not right either.
아니 뭐지? 아
Fifi
아니.
didn't want anyone to see personal secrets within Freya's diary.
Is this true, Fifi?
아니
I know Freya
말을
was your friend,
헷갈리게 해놨잖아.
but if you're trying to hide something,
You did not know Freya, so this might be difficult to understand. She did her own thing, in her own way. By concealing Freya's written accounts, it is simply my intention to preserve her innocence.
Innocence?
might be easier if you just let us read the diary, Fifi.
Very well. I will open it. However, as you read it, please remember, Freya was the most kind and the most wise person I have ever known.
All right, Fifi.
Finally, what's in there?
비밀 장미 일기장 피피의 방. 그게 다시 보인다. 이번에는 실제로 나인가? 내가 그렇게 만든 건가? 그 그림을 찢어버려야 할 것 같다. 영혼 전달자는 성공이다. 장한 녀석. 이제 내게는 두 개가 있다. 둘이 더 필요해. 중앙으로 가는 길을 찾았다. 하프랑 비교하면 굉장히 단순했다. 그들을 모두 봤다. 다섯 모두. 눈을 모두 까맣게 그었다. 하지만 모든 것에도 불구하고 나는 아직 지켜야 할 약속이 있다. 나는 최선을 다할 것이다. 그녀에게는 동반자가 있어도 좋을 것이다. 뭐?
A book. My book.
And what's in it?
Pages.
아. 오케이. 일 한번 더 보러 갈까?
Is that Fifi?
That's where
Have you ever read?
다른 곳에 바뀌는 거. 눈 뜨는 거 정말 레이튼 같다. 이런 류의 게임을 상당히 좋아하지. 이제 안 만나본 사람은 한 명이지. 아니 두 명이구나. 포인터네 두 명. 지금 뽀삐의 방부터.
It's a metronome for keeping.
It's ticking. Is it a bomb?
It's supposed to be ticking. Not sure what those symbols are, though.
아하.
Reset the puzzle?
이런 실수했다. 됐다.
I did it. What do I win?
Not bad. What happened?
Little hatch unlocked in the back.
Anything in there?
Mm-hmm. Part of a photograph.
어우. 옷으로 예측은 했지만 상당히 괴랄한 패션. 찢어진 사진, 버피의 방. 찢어진 사진 속에는 금발의 분홍 옷을 입은 소녀가 있다. 사진 속 소녀는 밝은 분홍색 카세트 플레이어와 헤드스폰을 쓰고 있다. 나머지 사진은 피피와 프레이야다. 프레이야의 방에 숨겨져 있었다.
There's something about something suspicious.
Let's ask Poppy about it.
본인께 맞는 것 같아. 삥긋삥긋한 거 보니까.
A single red rose. How very...
Yeah, weird.
Oh, thank goodness. There are 7 lit candles. Wouldn't want it to be dark in here. A big glass leads out into a garden.
There's a little mechanism by the handle.
또 이거야.
I guess we'll come back later.
There's a name. You know, these... sheet music.
It's only a few notes.
Yeah, it's been framed, though. Must be important for some reason.
악보, 뽀삐의 방. 낱장 악보가 액자 속에 있다. 섬세하고 오래된 그림 장식이 있다.
Oh, thank God. Wouldn't want it to be dark. Anything in the...
Dresses mostly. I didn't realize there are so many shades of black.
Just a bunch of clothes. Nothing weird about
To
that.
you.
Empty. A lamp. It is most that...
I thought vampires slept in coffins.
This is a vampire who needs firm support for their lower back.
More handwritten sheet music. It's an octopus.
No, it has 6 legs, not 8. Don't say it.
Sextopus.
섹스티퍼스.
How do you even get drapes on the ceiling like that?
That's the real mystery.
It's an
No, it has 6. Don't say it.
Sextopus.
That is
I thought
this is a vampire who needs firm support.
그게 뭐 더
Various
What do you
handlers.
think those say?
Hopefully, nothing.
Gloomy.
But roomy.
Gloomy.
But roomy.
오케이. 분홍분홍 카세트 테이프에 대해서 물어보러 가봅시다.
I need to confirm something with you, Poppy.
Confirm away.
What can you tell us about this cassette tape? Is it yours?
It belongs to Freya. She liked to have music playing while she was painting, you know.
And do you know what kind of music is on this tape?
No idea. Acid jazz?
It's piano music. Sounds an awful lot like your music, to be honest.
Sure it doesn't belong to you?
Why are we even talking about this? Cassette tapes have been redundant for a good few years now.
The tape was found at the crime scene. It was in the gramophone.
It's not mine.
Why not?
Not my color.
You used to like these colors.
Ridiculous.
We need a clue to compare with the cassette tape. Something that proves Poppy used to like these colors. Let's take a closer look at this. The pink cassette almost.
분홍 카세트 테이프는 사건 현장에서 발견된 것과 일치한다. 그것은 바로 카세트 플레이어입니다.
The pink cassette tape almost. The pink almost. The pink almost. The
무조건 이건데
That is not me.
살짝씩 이게 번역 이슈라고 해야 되나? 헷갈려. 되게 번역 이슈라기보단 그냥 그 영어의 어순 때문이겠지.
Yeah, it is. I'll prove it. You look a little different, but Fifi and Freya are pretty recognizable. It's clearly a photo of you with your two best friends. Why'd you tear it up and then hide it?
I think the answer is pretty straightforward. Poppy doesn't want to look like that anymore.
That's it. Makes this whole thing seem kind of irrelevant.
Maybe. It depends on the reason.
The reason she doesn't want to look like that anymore?
The passage of time is a powerful thing.
Hold on. This means that pink cassette tape does belong to you, Poppy.
It used to. I recorded some piano music onto it and gave it to Freya as a gift. Years ago.
Freya could have easily been listening to this tape at the exact moment she was killed. There's gotta be a connection between the tape, the gramophone, and the murder.
There's one other thing I want to know. How did it get that crack down the middle?
I have no idea.
우선 나머지 사람들도 만나볼까요? 아마 교수가 있겠지.
It's too cloudy to see any stars right now.
It's also daytime.
It's too cloudy to see.
It's also daytime. You know, I've always wanted one of those.
A mechanical.
I would look at it.
Wait a minute. Earth in the middle, sun on the outside. How old is this thing?
잘 이해가 안 가. 5개 행성을 태양과 달 중심으로. 태양 중심이면
Nothing.
So there are two ways to move the rotate the planets and rotate the sun and moon.
I I guess
I
that's...
think you just need to get the shape.
Nope.
The sun and moon need to be at 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock. The shape on the base is symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which is which.
이해한 거.
Nope.
The sun and moon need to be at... The shape on the base is symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which is which.
한시랑 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nope.
The sun and moon need to be at... The shape on the base is symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which is which.
Nope.
The sun and moon need to be at... The shape on the base is symmetrical.
다 가려줘야 되는 건가? 대칭으로 만들라는 건가?
Nope.
The sun and moon need to... The shape on the base is symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which is which.
Nope.
The sun and moon... The shape on the base is symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which is which.
Nope.
The sun... The shape on the base is symmetrical.
Nope.
The sun... The shape on the base is...
이해한 거. 뭘 하라는 걸까? 1시랑 5시 맞고. 이거가 겹치면 안 된다는 건가? 그럼 1시랑 5시에 있으면 안 될 텐데.
Nope.
The sun... The shape on the base is... The
Nope.
sun and... The shape on the base is...
모르겠구만. 맞는 거 같은데? 여기에 하면 안 될 것 같아. 설명이 어렵네 좀. 근데 맞는 거 같지? 맞네. 와 어렵다. 됐다.
That's the
Hey,
one.
not bad. Did you hear that?
There's a little hatch
A
underneath.
bunch of paper. Looks like somebody's research.
황금 딱정벌레 천문탑 다양한 연구 노트 및 도표 4번 황금 딱정벌레 황금과 약 90% 동일한 광물로 구성된 외골격을 가졌다는 데서 유래는 수명이 수년에 이른다. 쉬거리는 큰 소음을 내어 95데시벨 이상 기록. 포식자를 쫓아내고 잡아먹힌 경우 완전히 소화하지 못하게 한다. 인비스티드에 얽힌 미신이 있는데 발견한 사람에게 불행을 초래하는 다소 비논리적인 평판을 가지고 있다.
Mistidier than the notebook is untouched.
So, even the most well-used notebooks start off blank.
Mistidier than my
So,
desk.
even the most well-used
A picture frame.
with no picture.
It's full of tea.
Criminal.
Mistidier than
So, even the most well-used...
Mistidier
So,
than
even the most well-used... What is it?
It's a large device.
You're not wrong.
A bell jar.
What do people normally keep in bell jars?
Other than bells, you mean? A spyglass to the stars.
They're in very good condition.
Trinkets.
They're clearly gizmos. There's something kinda disappointing. I just expected a bit more from an astronomy
Oh,
tower.
does it not compare to all the other astronomy towers you've been to? Let's at least introduce ourselves before touching his telescope.
Always a good roll.
Trinkets.
They're clearly gizmos.
trinkets.
They're clearly pretty. 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 Pretty.
Shh, listen. Do you hear them? The stars.
저거
They're
머리카락 뭐야?
whispering. So quiet, and yet so loud.
What are they whispering about? Are they spreading rumors about us?
I shouldn't think they concern themselves with such insignificance. We are but specks of dust, you and I.
Mm-hmm. Could this speck of dust start by telling me his name?
You find yourself standing in the astronomy tower of one Professor Percival Pointer.
Seems like this tower belongs to the Pointers, and the other one belongs to the Fellows.
Well observed, my dear. Tangle Tower is something of a duality, as it happens. Meaningless boundaries, really. They exist only in our minds.
Helpful.
Me? Not much to say. Strictly speaking, I'm the current head of the Pointer family. And of course, father to my precious Poppy.
And a professional astronomer?
Oh no, that's just a little hobby. I mean, yes, I've studied the stars for over 35 years, published 17 books.
Just a little hobby.
Sounds like you're quite well known. You must bring in a good amount of money.
Oh dear me, no. My field of research has never yielded any kind of stable financial return, nor would I expect it to. I am nothing but a humble interpreter for the cosmos, working to translate its message so that I may share it with the world.
Cool. Tell the cosmos I say hi.
The day began as any other, with blissful, unremarkable routine. I took my usual morning walk around the gardens. Fresh air does wonders for the mind.
Did you see anyone else?
Penelope and Fitz were in the greenhouse together. I didn't bother them, of course. I sat for a while besides the pond in the garden. It's a favorite spot of mine. Eventually, I returned to my tower and buried myself in my studies for the afternoon.
Did you use your telescope yesterday?
Once the stars began to appear, naturally.
For how long?
I can't say. I've been known to lose hours at my telescope.
Did you see anything?
No actual discoveries, if that's what you mean.
So you were all alone up in the astronomy tower. Must have been a while before you found out what had happened to Freya.
Quite. Normally, I would be the last to find out about such a thing. But a curious tug of fate led me towards the fellow tower later that evening.
이상한데.
I was at my telescope for the majority of the evening, but at one point I returned to my desk to look something up in a reference book. I couldn't find the book I wanted, so I figured Fiona must have borrowed it. I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall. I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library. She looked impatient and slightly frustrated.
Same as ever then?
Quite. I passed her by and went upstairs to Fiona's room. The door was locked, but I could hear shouting coming from inside. I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter. I had no desire to invade their privacy by eavesdropping, so I waited for them to finish and come out into the hall. Before I could ask about the book, Poppy grabbed my hand and took me upstairs along with Fiona. It was apparent that both of them had already been crying about something. We went up to Flora's tower. Freya was laying on her back, right in the middle of the room.
진술들에 어긋나는 점.
Flora and Fitz were already there. They both looked stoic as ever. Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did, and then Fiona went downstairs with Poppy for some reason. I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Why did you leave so quickly? Wasn't there anything you could have done to help?
Don't take this the wrong way, but the whole ordeal is fellow family business. I'm quite sure they don't need me getting in the way at a time like that. A listless soul.
What's wrong with her?
Not sure. She's always been troubled. I'd say you could ask her about it. I think you might find that to be a... He should learn to make the most of his lot in life. And he does have a lot in life.
You're talking about money?
Among other things, but yes, he currently has agency over a small fortune. That is, if he hasn't already squandered it or lost it.
You two don't get on?
Oh no, we're the best of friends. Ah, yes, the heiress of Tangle Tower. Goodness knows what'll happen when she takes charge. I dare say she'll confiscate my telescope and replace it with a microscope.
She doesn't seem to be the type to impress her will on others.
Still, keep an eye on her. Dangerously intelligent, that one.
You sound jealous. Wait, are you two science rivals?
Oh no, we operate on very different wavelengths. Literally.
그러게 한쪽은 미생물이고 한쪽은 별 그러니까 천문학적이니까 상당한.
Hard to read, that one. But,
It's kinda mean.
you know, I simply assumed all Then, of course, I met you. I don't especially want introspection often.
Wait.
Why don't we discuss them?
I'm not sure if we have time.
83.
Yeah, we don't.
Nobody could deny she was artistically gifted.
Those two things aren't mutually.
Was she ever interested in
I
astronomy?
don't think she was. The fault may well. But I think she was captivated by more. My daughter loved her. Fiona, too. That said, in the last year or so, more wandering the gardens, she must have explored quite a rest. I'm surprised she chose to live. What do you want me to say?
He's a member of the family.
Yeah, but not the Pointer family.
What happened to his parents? Do you know?
His father, Flint, is Felix's brother. Strange man. Don't think anybody knows what happened to him, but he certainly doesn't live here anymore.
What about his mother?
Emily? I've not met her. She never actually married into the fellow family. Her relationship with Flint was, it was short-lived. My Poppy, my pride and joy. Exceptionally talented. Hold on, why is she...
Because she's a suspect.
Oh no, I can personally vouch for her innocence. She'd never... Well, the truth is, she loved Freya very dearly.
If you don't mind me asking, what happened?
Primrose? She was Flora's sister, a Remington by birth. The playing field has never really been even since she left.
Where did she go?
Away. She went...
멀리 있다.
So which one is Tangle?
What's that?
There are two towers, right?
Neither? Truly, you'd have to ask Flora.
She named the house?
The whole thing is a result of her squabbling with
With
her...
Felix, you mean? Her husband?
No, her brother and sister. And the Remington family was a rather tumultuous little... I don't think Flora has spoken with... A very old... I'd recommend you... The poor fellows... Not exactly a...
It's enough.
Isn't the process...
It's not really decaying.
It's becoming what... Where on earth...
It was in a bush outside.
How pick...
편지에 대해서는 다들 반응들이
I find that painting...
Oh, yeah?
The knife... The whole thing... Curious little thing. You know what she hide...
Nothing. At the moment.
How bizarre.
Can't a woman keep an empty...
Pointer property purloined by the fellows. Typical. I haven't seen that. Who broke it?
No idea.
Ah, well. Is this important?
Possibly.
I haven't seen...
No idea.
Ah, well. Possessions are fleeting, my friends. Here's a thought. Do you After all, it was found at the scene, right next to Freya's body.
I guess it's...
This looks a little rushed, even by Felix's
At
standards.
least he tried.
Yes, I suppose it's good for the old fellow to have a... Keeps his mind from decaying. Poppy's two closest... Freya looks so innocent there. Poppy's two... Freya was well...
What does it
To
look...
me, it's a big, red thing.
What a fascinating interpretation.
He's right, though. It is a big red...
That's a very... Looks like someone could
I
have
like the look of a well-read book better than one that's never been opened.
Ah, well... Yes, very nice. Where is that bird of Flora? It's been a while since I've seen... This is supposed to be Felix.
I think so.
I see he's a... A diary can be a wonderful outlet for...
How do you know it's a
I
diary?
suppose I But
don't.
it does... What's this?
It looks like it might be a telescope. Thought you might know something.
Well, it certainly is a telescope. It has a part there to screw onto a tripod, you see? It's rather small, though. I'm
No.
not... Fitz seems rather keen to grow things like this in his greenhouse, doesn't he?
What's wrong with that?
Well, you can't. Makes you wonder why... Oh, you
Steady
found
on. It's just
Looks
a
like a weapon. Curious creature. Some sort of
Playing a trumpet.
play. What a precious photo. She hasn't changed a bit, has she?
Who?
Oh, if perhaps I don't either. What a precious. She hasn't changed a bit, has she?
Who?
Oh, if you don't know, perhaps I don't either.
Perhaps I
Oh my. This is the first piece that Primrose ever learned on the piano. She passed it down to Poppy when she started teaching her how to...
Poppy's piano teacher was her mother.
Of course. Warms my heart to know that after everything... Oh my. This is the first piece that...
So, we found what's up with this golden beetle?
I can't help you, I'm afraid. I think it must be something left behind by a previous inhabitant. I'm not the first scientist to ever walk these halls, you know.
Well, it wasn't in the halls. It was in your astronomy tower.
이 새끼도 뭔가 숨기고 있네.
Every astronomy
I
tower.
want to try.
어이씨 깜짝이야.
You can see right into Flora's room.
Not by accident.
I can see Flora, but she's not looking this way. She's looking up. Behind her is the backside of the easel holding... I can't really see. You can see
Not
behind her.
beside
Can't really see. You can see
Not
behind her.
beside
Can't really see anything. You can see
Not beside
behind her is the back. Can't really see anything behind it. Not from this.
Is that a window?
I
Is
think
there another room above?
we should check that next time we're over there.
봐봐. 얘가 은근 촉이 좋다니까 탐정이.
It's that little plant.
Don't you think it would fall
Maybe
off?
it's glued down.
I can see the door. The door itself is on the floor. Not. I can see the doorway. The door itself is on the floor, knocked off its hinges.
아 이게 위로 올라온 게 아니구나.
It's too dark back there. It's too dark back there.
I can just about see the ground. Trees, for some trees, for some reason. It's the tower. Isn't this supposed to be? I'm pretty sure you need to.
I can't move it. I think this is just how it's set up.
오.
There's something about Pointer's astronomy. Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
개 수상하네.
So, Professor, what interests?
It's not a matter of once you expand your mind to the wider universe, it cannot be unexpanded.
Mm-hmm. And
I
how...
really don't like to give exact values unless I'm sure I can quantify them.
Convenient.
Why do you ask me these things?
I have
Oh, go on.
아이씨 넘겼어.
You're not really interested in astronomy at all.
What could you possibly mean by that?
I think you're interested in a slightly different field of research.
I don't have time for tiny, insignificant insects. My studies focus only on the inconceivably large and the unimaginably far away.
Right. That's why you like using your telescope so much.
Yes, naturally. My little portal into another world.
Yeah, about that.
팬이 누군지도 모르겠어.
Pointers tell us almost. Maybe just...
제 현장이라.
Pointers tell... Nope. Pointers tell... That's
아니 뭐야?
not right. Pointer's telescope
아니,
was actually
이거
looking at
실제로
the
보는 게
crime
뭐가
scene
다른데?
and not up at the sky.
First, you accuse me of being a lowly entomologist. Now you're accusing me of, what, spying?
Are you spying?
Why would I need to spy on Flora?
Why? Because you lost your golden beetle specimen. and it's made you paranoid. You think somebody stole it from you.
Might not have been Flora you were spying on. Might have been Freya.
It's a very precious specimen. Incredibly rare. Valuable in ways you could never understand. Freya was always sneaking around, both towers and in the gardens too. She was definitely up to something.
So, this next question is important. You were looking to Flora's room around the time of the murder. Did you witness the crime, Professor?
No, I didn't. When I looked into the room, Flora was already lying on the floor.
Flora? You mean Freya?
No, Flora. She was lying by the window. I couldn't see Freya at all. It was fairly dark. The telescope isn't at a very good angle. That's why I decided to head over there myself. I needed to know what was going on.
This changes your statement, doesn't it?
No, everything I told you in my statement was true.
Apart from the reason you left your tower in the first place.
Right.
Let's go over what we know about the crime scene. Freya was definitely up to something.
Something to do with the statue in the garden, I think.
Maybe we should go back and check. And we could...
This wasn't here before.
What is it?
It's a little wooden toy. Looks kind of like a crab.
There's a note stuck to the back.
What does it say? Grimoire?
제 새로운 친구입니다. 음악을 좋아하죠. 단순한 선율은 그의 영혼을 감동시킬 겁니다. 둘에게 행운을 빕니다. 프레이야. 아,
What do you think? Is it really from her?
How can it be?
Why don't we check the handwriting with Freya's diary?
Good idea. Hold on.
Well,
It's a perfect match.
well, it's confirmed. We have a ghost helping us.
Let's keep this to ourselves for now.
What about the little wooden toy thing?
Maybe we can put it to some kind of use. I'm still...
Should we take another look?
이거는
Let's come back.
그거다. 받은
We know a little more about the crime scene now. So, what do you think? Was Freya stabbed by her own painting?
그럴 리가. 펠릭스가 제일 의심스럽긴 하지. 무정삽을 들고 있을 이유는
The paint almost. Maybe just change one thing. The paint. Nope. That's not right. Blood from the paint pot was used to paint the red tip of the painted ink dip feather to resemble a blue.
I think you're right. Can't decide if I'm disappointed or relieved.
I have a question. Why?
Either it's a very strange coincidence, or somebody set it up.
Somebody deliberately put blood in the paint pot and hid that feather after the crime. Why? To distract us?
Possibly.
Well, it worked.
Possibly.
Flora's the only person who could have hidden the feather, unless someone took it from her.
Let's go over what we do know. The door was locked the whole time. It stayed locked until Fitz kicked it down. Normally, it can only be opened from the inside. Pointer said he couldn't see Freya from his telescope. but he did see Flora lying by the window.
So whatever got Freya got Flora too?
Except Flora survived. She didn't get a stab wound like Freya did.
Hold on. If there was no knife, then what did stab Freya?
It could be anything. It might not even be important.
How is it not important?
Right now, I'm less interested in the what and more interested in the how.
The angle of Freya's wound suggests she was stabbed at a perfect right angle. That is, from directly in front of her. But she was standing right up by the canvas.
Somehow, Freya ended up lying on her back, still perfectly in line with a painting.
Maybe something went through it.
Through the painting? Wouldn't that leave a hole?
Okay, well, how about this? How do we know Freya was stabbed before she fell over? Maybe her being stabbed and her falling over are completely unrelated.
의문투성이네요. 잘 모르겠다.
It's locked.
Locked.
There must be some way to get it open.
이 사람이 누군지 잘 모르겠단 말이지.
Oh, just beautiful. What is it?
Huh?
Sort of a delicate jade, but what?
Sorry?
Your hair, dear! Which shade do you use? It's lovely. And that shape. You're really pushing the envelope.
Oh, thanks. I do what I can to offset Grimoire's beige on brown ensemble.
Detectives don't need to be brightly colored. We prefer to blend into the background.
Oh, you're the detective? Delightful. Penny Pointer, pleasure.
Is that short for Penelope?
Officially, yes, but I never can be bothered with all 4 syllables of it. Penelope sounds a little ostentatious coming out of the mouth, don't you think?
Sure.
Oh, just be.
Huh?
20-something, Aquarius, love to travel, and nearly all of my friends are birds.
Travel? Where to?
Anywhere at all, as long as it has species worth studying. Ornithology, they call it. I call it the only thing I've ever been good at.
And have you studied the birds here at Tangle Tower?
But of course! Where else do you think I developed my love of the field? No matter where I go, I always find myself coming home to Tangle Tower.
Because of the birds.
Oh, no, because of him! Silly to admit, but I suppose I can't bear for us to be apart.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, don't you know? My fiancé, dear Fitz. He's not really the traveling type, you see.
Fitz Fellow.
The very one.
You're engaged to a member of the Fellow family? That's interesting.
I'm not especially interested in whatever tedious feuding goes on between our two families. Fitz and I find it much easier to stay out of it altogether. I awoke early and headed down into the greenhouse to see Fitz. He's always there, crack of dawn, every morning like clockwork.
How come?
It's where he's happiest. That and he has a great deal of work to do every day, watering, pruning, mulching, whatever that is.
Do you help him with the work in the greenhouse?
Oh, no. I wouldn't.
So, you stayed with
No.
Fitz?
In the early afternoon, he went back inside.
Did he say why?
He didn't. Probably just a touch of heat stroke, the poor dear. He's more delicate than you'd think.
What did you do after that?
Let's see. I returned to the aviary to feed my birds.
And how many birds are you responsible for?
Officially 4, but in truth, it's more like 400.
Can they not feed themselves?
Of course! And they often do. But I think they just like the company. As do I. Sometime in the evening, I left the aviary and headed back towards my room. But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. He was muttering something. Seemed a bit upset, the poor dear. I followed him down, but the grand hall was empty by the time I got there. Empty aside from Detective Hawkshaw, who was loitering over by the library. I don't know what it was, but she looked a little lost. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the Fellow Tower. I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path. For some reason, he was coming out of Fitz's bedroom. He looked rather lost, too. I told him I was looking for Uncle. He suggested we look up in Flora's tower room. We could see from the hallway. The door was off its hinges. I knew then something was terribly wrong. A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya. Uncle Pointer was there. Fitz, too, standing over in the corner with Fifi and Poppy.
What about Flora?
Of course, silent as ever. Uncle suggested we should leave. Give the others some space, you know. So he and I both returned to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
살짝 다르네. 쟤네 먼저 사라졌는데.
A fellow bird enthusiast. She's quite the expert. Studied them professionally at one point.
Are you friends?
A little bit.
A little bit friends.
She's one for the peace and quiet. I can see that. I do admire her, though, really. Always felt like she could have done better than settle for Felix.
Ouch.
I said it.